2, 3, 4. Ethel began just before the millennium. It was a time in New York City when people were very, very busy and very excited and full of the security that New York was one of the cultural capitals of the world. And yet, the strategies we were all living with were beginning to fail. And audiences were dwindling, presenters were becoming very concerned about continuing their operations, managements were having to reduce their rosters and become more economical. And this was a moment when, in fact, we were sort of just pursuing our own tastes, our own opportunities. We were surfing this wonderful wave of very active, creative activity in New York City. But we were not the ones that the managements were looking for right away. The managements needed to reach a point of desperation. They needed to reach a point where they were really worried that the old style of classical music presentation was going to fade away completely. And at that moment, they sort of looked around and saw that there was a little corner of lively stuff going on. It looked like fun. It looked like something that a younger generation might find attractive. And they picked us up, but it was really unscientific. It was kind of like, well, let's try that, you know. And they threw it at the wall to see if it would stick and see if people would find it fun. And yeah, sure, there was some activity. We still needed to spend a lot of time focusing our own will, our own art, really being interested in doing what we were doing for its own sake. And I would say that we lived through one of the larger hurdles of our culture from the last maybe 200 years. The strategies that had been accepted, the truths that we had been brought up with, really dissolved. And you're in a moment now that is so full of potential, so full of authenticity, and you are really being honored and given the opportunity to work with that and evolve it, really produce something new that wasn't given to generations before yours. There's a wonderful statement in Marshall McLuhan's book, The Global Village, about the role of the artist in society. He says that the role of the artist in society is to constantly update and keep fresh our impression of who we are and where we are. And obviously from Megan's presentation earlier, you could see how that was happening in the 19th century. If there was any genius in what we did when we began, it was simply to be willing to look around and consider that our success and the interest that we were experiencing really wasn't all of our own making. It wasn't because of our own particular intelligence or product, but really because of a larger need. And we began to feel we were kind of early adapters in a moment of tremendous change, and that we needed to be skillful surfers as that big wave came through. It is awesome. There's more potential now than there may have been for 150 years previously. It is also dangerous. It's a time when a lot could go wrong, and go wrong in very big ways. But it's fabulous and inspiring, and I'd have to say that what we're experiencing now in our own work is more beautiful and rewarding and significant than anything that would have come from the old logics that we were brought up with. Thank you.
What you're hearing here is creative destruction in process. This is a piece entitled Chant. It is based on a Hawaiian song written by King Kamehameha. Every Hawaiian child grows up singing this song. It speaks to Hawaiian identity, to unity, to peace, to aloha. Yo in building this piece, we reduced the original chant itself down to its essence, just these two notes, which you're hearing Kip and Cory playing right now. But now it's been reimagined. It's in the form of a loop, flowing ever forward. The chant is now truly timeless. Even as time rolls forward, it just sits out there. It's accompanied by Dorothy's bass line, Kip's complementary loops, some solo lines, and even a little filigree. We built chant for a show, Truck Stop The Beginning, at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. It was Ethel with 4 other collaborating artists, masters all of incredible American traditions, bluegrass, Native American flutes, Tejano conjunto, and Hawaiian slack guitar. It was 4 artists working with Ethel, but here's the kicker, 4 artists working with each other. The entire performance was staged in a live recording studio to underscore and support the fact that our show was actually being built from nothing, each and every evening. 4 unscripted evenings presenting a new kind of collaborative work that had captured Ethel's and our colleagues' imaginations and would go on for a good 10 years to inform our subsequent creative output. In building this and other collaborative works through the years, colleagues have certainly been excited to jump in, but a little diffident at first. But the resulting avalanche of creative and interpersonal energy consistently produces a wealth of great new ideas and sound which bears the hallmark of freshness, unpredictability, yet skill and wisdom, and friendships, deep friendships, which go on and hold strong. Our Truck Stop Collaborative Initiative and its current iteration, Ethel Plus, which we're going to see here at Denison, can both be seen as studies in creative destruction. We have made it our life's work to invite extraordinary artists into conversation, exploration, into the deep water with no swim fins. So step 1, remove all your preoccupations. Get rid of your stuff. Forget about it. It's not useful. Step 2, build agreement in the collaboration. By removing layers of tradition and thrown ways of being, you can get nice and empty. Step 3, stop playing, stop singing, stop writing. Step 4, listen. Just listen. And what does that leave us with?
What does it leave us with? The beginning of our journey. And at the beginning of our journey, we have 2 options. One to stay put, and one to charge forward into the unknown, where the unexplored forces you to trust your faculties to come up with something, and to think differently, but probably most importantly, to be completely dependent on your self-esteem, to help you plow through the self-doubting, the performance anxiety, and just enjoy it, So after we overcome the mental blocks, what does that leave? It leaves breath for creativity. And we really want to create this environment where it's totally safe to fail, because we consciously decide to leave our egos at the door.
We deal in creative destruction. But when I think of creative destruction in terms of music composition, the first name that comes to my mind is Mary Ellen Childs, a composer who is here at Denison this week with us, working in the fields of dance, working new music. There's a piece of hers, a suite of pieces called Dream House, where she witnessed the destruction and rebirth, in a very Mahayana Buddhist sense, of her home. And chose to take from this example a musical pattern, a series of patterns. It's a wonderful idea to think of pulling something down and building something else up from it. A phoenix from the ashes, if you will. We would like to present to you a piece of hers entitled Lines that she wrote for us. You've been wonderful. Thank you so much.